We've got some things to talk about today, Karina.
Just a few.
Just a few. I got no shoes on. I'm socking it today. I got shorts on today. Everyone can see my white legs on YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Everything But Weddings. Today is a special one because I've got some apologies to make.
Hit me.
The strip club job has been done. It is complete. We got it done. I saw some I saw some things that I've never imagined myself seeing before.
So when you say you have some apologies to make...
I got some apologies to make because I listened to our previous episode, okay, and I made some comments along the lines of, I feel sorry for these women. I'm going to try to get them another job. They don't need to be doing something like this. Where's their dads?
Yeah.
They're the four comments that I made. And after going to the strip club and experiencing what it's like there, meeting these professionals.
It's a job. It's almost a job.
Athletes. They're athletes. I'm actually going to put them in the category of athlete.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. And I'll explain why. But I made some judgments. I had some judgmental comments that I made, and they were for comedy. They were for some laughs. However, I'm retracting all of those comments that I've made.
Wow, all of them?
All of them. Well, because I actually have a lot of respect for what they do now after seeing what it was like. You did make a comment. You said to me, Brad, you might get there and realize that this is something that people take really seriously. This is a competition. This is something that's, a big deal.
It's a whole world for them out there.
Yeah, it's wild.
And do you know what? At the end of the day, it's no different to, say, I was very heavily involved in netball, so that was my life, and I committed to that, and it was a thing for me.
Right.
Weren't
taking off your clothes though. A little bit different.
But I wasn't. But it's the same in the same sense of you're training for something. They're at least getting paid for it.
Hey, they're getting paid probably well.
Exactly.
I don't know what the money's like. But essentially, yeah. I mean, I'll tell the story of the whole kind of night. Obviously, I was the day that we did that podcast was the night that I was going. So I was kind of like, no, I was thinking to myself, what am I getting myself into
nervous?
Here? No. Whenever I've got a camera in hand, I'm not nervous.
Yeah, okay.
Like if I could be
that.
anything that I'm doing in my life, if I've got a camera in my hand, whatever. It's like, this is my job. I'm coming in to do my job. But I was feeling a bit like I was going into a new environment, and that's always a little bit like it gives you a little bit of anxiety, a bit of like, oh, what am I to expect right now? And I had the most grand entrance any first timer of a strip club could ever receive. So I walk in, and there's like a couple of girls there. And now let me tell you something about these girls. They are so confident.
Well, you need to be.
They are so confident. It is different. Like in normal society, you've got people in their confidence levels and things like that. You walk into a strip club, these strippers are like on another tier of like what confidence is.
Well, you don't have a choice.
No, well, and that's the thing. And obviously they work really hard to have their physique the way they have it. They're very strong. You should see what they've been doing on these poles.
They're very fit.
They're fit women. Anyway, so I walk in, there's a couple of them there. They're like, hi. And I'm like, oh, God. So nervous. Just introducing myself, things like that. And then Colin looks at the girls and goes, ladies, this is Brad. Brad's just turned 27 and it's his first time in the strip club.
And that's the first thing you said.
That's the first thing you said.
Great.
Which is the best introduction because these girls looked after me the whole night. I was well looked after, and they definitely played on that. They knew that I was a little bit nervous, and they really played with that for the whole night. And it was fun. It was flirtatious. I understood what a strip club was.
It was every 27-year-old's single man's dream.
Well, I had, I think, 3 people ask for my number and 1 girl try to get my Snapchat. And let me tell you something. I've been to clubs, I've been clubbing, I've been out on nights. This has never happened to me. But in a strip club, obviously the girls, and we should talk about this because it's interesting. Their job is to make you feel
good.
And they did just that.
I'm not sure about the giving them your number though.
I didn't give them my number.
Okay, good.
No, they asked for it.
Okay.
And
that takes a shit ton of confidence too.
Well, yeah. I mean, because the guy that I was working with, he knew all these people. He works every year. He does the same event, the Miss Nude Australia, and all these girls know him. And you know, we've got headsets on. So all the videographers have got headsets on, and while the performance is happening, we can chat to each other and direct what we're filming, right? And in between the sets, one of the girls walks up to him and says something like, "Oh, who's your new guy you got here?" And he was like, "Oh, that's Brad. Go up to him, go get his number, rah, rah." And I'm hearing this whole thing, and my heart's like, don't. I'm like, please don't go up to me. I don't want to have this conversation. And it was just funny. It was good fun. They're very playful. It's flirty. It's flirty.
Fun.
And you know what? It was actually one of those times where I was like, oh, this is actually a good way to get your let's say you're a guy and you're not good at communicating. Let's say you're someone like I saw a couple of the guys that were in there that were clearly just socially not what's the word? What am I trying to say? Like just they're just a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't get a lot of attention outside of the club.
I'm sure a lot of men go to strip clubs for attention.
Well, that's hey, I look, this is my first time there. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect.
Strip clubs are a very strange thing. I think a lot of people just have the opinion that you may have had before you went in there, that they're this whole...
This is my opinion before I went in there. There's just these...
You literally said it. Well, you needed to sanitize, and I did agree with that. But you did have that opinion.
Yeah, I had the opinion of dirty place, filthy men, just everyone's horny, gross, just this gross place. And then I went there and I was like, you know what? This is completely. I had this thought process which just wasn't accurate.
Yeah,
wasn't accurate at all. And I've got to admit, let's just disclaimer: I didn't go there on just a regular night. Okay, this was an event. Miss Nude Australia is it happens.
So it's probably a very different crowd, I think. Yeah, to a normal. I could take you on a Saturday night with no event.
I was about to say we should film it. I don't think they let cameras in there. But we had there's 2 or 3 Miss Nude Australias a year, I think, or something like that. There's these events that they run, and essentially what it was the top 10 strip dancers would perform and be judged by a panel, and then they announced a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, so that all happened in the one night. I think I started at 6 or 7 o'clock. I didn't finish. I didn't get home till about 4 a.m.
For a Wednesday. Look out.
For a Wednesday. So it was wild.
But at least you got to see what it's like. And I did say this to you. I was like, maybe don't form your opinion on strip clubs based on the night you were there, because it would be a very different crowd. Right. And very structured.
Well, the guy that I was working with said that. He said, look, Brad, this is a completely different night compared to a regular strip club night.
Is.
So as I left, he goes, your standards are set pretty high now.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to strip clubs now. That's not where I'm at.
But do you have any desire to go, honestly?
No, I don't. I don't have any desire to go. But here's the thing. I got contacted by them about a week later, and they said that they really respected the way that I worked and how I didn't give my numbers or my Snapchat to the girls.
Nice.
Even though they were asking. And I almost feel like it was like a setup now.
Yeah, maybe you were being tested.
Maybe I was being tested.
Yeah.
And, they were like, you didn't give them your numbers. You did a really good job. We would like you to be the videographer for the next coming events. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am now the official videographer for Miss Nude Australia for the next couple of events, and we'll see what happens.
Well done, you.
So we'll be able to have this stripper conversation every couple of months, spike the numbers, get people thinking, what are they talking about?
Look, I think it's good. You had fun and it wasn't what you expected, but until you experience these things, you don't really know what it's like.
Oh, no idea. Now, a couple of things, so the performance, right? The performance. Now, I definitely have this before going there, I had this judgment of why would you want to be someone that strips completely nude in front of all these people? Like in my head, I'm like, have some dignity, and that sounds horrible. Now I'm saying this is what I previously thought. Now, the new Brad, the new me, the
unvirginized
strip club guy realizes that these girls are I thought about this. I was thinking about it last night when I was thinking about having this conversation, and I thought to myself, if they were performing at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre and not a strip club, people would see it completely differently. I think because it's performed at a strip club, it's got this stigma attached to it, but these girls are absolutely talented performers. And what they do, I can't believe how strong they are. You should see what they were doing on these poles,
I know.
Karina.
I looked. Because I was curious.
God.
I checked the stories. I was like, holy fuck, if I could bend my body that way.
But
they are.
Wild.
They're strong. And that's what I'm saying. It's a competition that they train for. The same as I would train for netball. They're training to hang off a pole. Like, it's different, but it's the same.
And it's not just the pole. Like, they did all sorts of things that we probably can't talk about on the pod because it's pretty explicit.
Use your imagination.
And you should have seen when I first got there, because what I was manning the tight cam. So I was manning the 70-200 for those who know what that is.
You really got a good end of the deal for this.
I don't know if it's the good end of the deal, because I was watching the whole thing through my camera, not because when I looked up to have a look with my own eyes, I was like, wow, this is crazy. But when I'm looking at it through the camera, I just feel like it's worked to me. So it wasn't what you're probably thinking.
There
right?
is not one person that's going to feel sorry for you right now.
I am not asking anyone to feel sorry for me. But I was manning the 70-200. Now, the 70-200 is essentially a long lens. It's a very tight lens. I was supposed to follow the immediate action, right? So there's probably 6 cameras. There was cameras on strings that would slide from left to right when the girls would walk down the stage. We had 2 guys manning cameras, and we had about 3 or 4 cameras that were stagnant wides and things like that. It was a full production.
Crazy.
It was pretty full on, and we were doing a live stream for people at home. And essentially, my job, I said to the director, I said, so I've got a tight cam. So let's say the lady walks down to the end of the stage. Now I can only frame in probably the head, the torso, the legs. I go, what do you want me to focus on? and he just goes, whatever they're flaunting, you focus on. So then there was this like judgment call to be made every time they were at the very end, and there was like a shower where they could basically I don't even know how to explain this now. But they're completely nude. The water's coming down. They're putting it's like colored liquid all on them, and I'm just looking through my camera going, what is my life right now? What is happening
on a Wednesday?
So it was wild. It was cool. It was fun. It was I definitely left the gig thinking to myself, oh my God, like my perspective has changed, not just on strip clubs, but just in terms of like being sexual.
Yeah.
Like the idea that it's bad to be like I don't know. My perspective has changed.
Prudish on that kind of thing, which is fine. But
because a lot of people are judgmental about what these girls do, and I was too. Like as in I was a bit more like for example, I was like, if I had a girlfriend, I probably wouldn't want her to be a stripper, right?
Well, and also like if I guess there is the opinion from people as well is, do you want your partner to go to strip clubs? Are you uncomfortable with that? There's so many things about it. So I have a story with stripper. On my hens night, my friends got me a stripper, and he literally
such like a bogan thing.
It's such a bogan thing to do, but the thing with it is that I didn't enjoy it at all.
So male stripper,
yeah. Like I genuinely think strippers are for everybody else but me. So the reason I didn't enjoy it, he literally laid like they're very invasive, and I think male strippers are less invasive or intrusive than female strippers.
Gotcha.
To be fair, but anyway, he laid down on the floor, and I don't know. Back in my day when I was this old, this is how long ago it was. There was this moisturizer that you could rub into your skin that had like a tint of self tan.
Right.
So you kept putting it on, and it's buildable self tan. He made me rub that. He laid on the floor and put it all over my hands and made me rub it into his chest. And all I was worried about while there was a naked man laying on the floor in front of me was that this tan was going to stain my hands.
What a cringe act.
But it was like, and he was sweaty, and it was gross. Like everybody else loved it. So It was entertaining. It's fun. It is what it is. It was great. But like I did not enjoy it. I absolutely did not enjoy it.
They're very promiscuous, but it was kind of nice to be in an environment where that's completely accepted and it's not frowned upon. Like I think about I went to therapy literally a couple of days after the strip club, not because of the strip club, just because I had an appointment to go to therapy, right? And I went there and I told him all about the experience. I was like, this is what happened and rah, rah. And I told him this little story about like I was up on like a block filming, right? So I could see the whole club.
Why?
Right?
Too sure?
No, Karina, I needed to...
You couldn't see over the heads in front of you, so they had to put you on a stand?
Everyone was on a stand that was filming. Okay? It's what...
Sorry, carry on.
I've had it up to here with you.
Carry on.
I've had it up to here. And you keep fucking up that mic.
It's falling. It's not staying.
Tighten this.
I'm fucking trying, but it's not staying. Okay, look, this.
And tighten that tight. All right, it's not going anywhere.
All right, fucking stop picking on me today.
You just called me a midget.
It was a joke.
Anyway, so yeah, I was telling him about this story where from where I was filming, I could see everything. I could see the stage, I could see all the people, I could see the bar, okay? And there was this one older man. He was probably in his 70s, and he was just at the bar the whole time, and I could see that the girls were walking up to him, and then he would buy them drinks. And they're just and he was laughing, like he was having a good time and stuff, but in my head, I was like, this guy needs to go home. Like I was judging. Okay, let me just tell you. This is the part of the story, right?
Oh, shut up.
So I was. So I get really like, shut up.
Silence
Let
before
me
I
talk.
even talk.
You go to talk, and my hands go up. I'm like, just shut up for a second. I've got the rest of the story to go. So I started. I started judging him a bit. I was like, oh, not okay. Look, I'm not judging him, but I was looking at it, going, why is he here? He's alone. He's spending a lot of money on drinks. I'm not sure how I feel about what's happening right now. I'm like, is he getting taken advantage of? That kind of stuff. And I was talking about it at therapy. I was like, I didn't like the vibe of seeing this old man at the club. And I was like, he probably, should be with family, blah, blah, blah. And my therapist goes, but you know nothing about this guy. He might have no family to go home to. This could be his place of joy.
Exactly.
And it put things into perspective where I was like, you don't know why people are at strip clubs. You don't know why people are strippers. You don't know why people do whatever they do. Like, you might not agree with something that someone does, but that doesn't make them wrong for doing it.
Absolutely. But I agree with that, not just in strip clubs, in every aspect of life. Like, don't judge. So many people are so judgmental of everybody over the stupidest little things.
It's
sad. Really sad because you don't know why people are doing certain things. And like you just said, that old man could have no family. His wife could have passed away if he was a little bit older.
Right.
Like, whatever's happened in his life, if that's the place he wants to go on a Wednesday night to get some joy and feel good, then fucking do it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah, it's different if he's got a wife at home and kids.
Look, see, this story can get hairy.
I'll judge that.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. I don't know this guy's story.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I'll bring him on the pod. If I see him next time, I'll bring him on the pod.
Anyway, it's true. You can't judge people because you don't know what is going on in their lives.
You have no idea.
That's one of my biggest icks in life, honestly, is that I am not going to judge anybody over anything. And I have done it in the past, for sure. But especially in the last few years, you don't know what people are going through.
Right.
And so many people are fighting battles. And
embrace that people are different.
Absolutely. If that's what makes... Unless you're hurting someone or... it's a different story if you're doing that, but people do things for their own reasons.
Yeah.
And it's not your job to judge that when it doesn't affect your life at all.
Yeah, like I was kind of like doing dot points about kind of my thoughts of my experience. And one of them that I wrote down was, why do strippers get judged so hard when they're not hurting anyone?
They're not hurting anyone.
So
Mate,
what's
do you know how
what's
much
your problem?
money these girls make?
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
And I get it. Because the way that they're very they make you feel extremely comfortable. And by the way, and they respect your boundaries. Like I one of them comes up to me and was like, hey, how are you? Or whatever. Just did this whole I'm blushing already talking about it. Because it was such a dynamic I wasn't used to. And she asked for my Snapchat, and then I said, oh, look, I'm working right now. The show's about to start. I'm going to jump on this camera. And she's like, yeah, no worries. Like, all good. And they know, they don't want to waste time.
No, they don't.
She's doing that. Obviously, she wants to. Yeah. That's their job. Their job is to kind of see where you're at. You could tell that they're very socially like they're very good at conversation.
Well, they have to be.
It's their job.
Yeah.
But I never thought that. I thought strip clubs, you walk in, they're dancing on poles, you give them money, you go get a lap dance. That's what I thought. But it's not. It's like a lot of these girls' jobs is actually to sit in the crowd with the people and just have chats and try to get them to get up and get drinks because they get a percentage of the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's so interesting. So,
but you asked me a question before about like, how would you feel if your partner went into a strip club?
Right.
I think there are certain people that would be extremely affected by that, and I probably would have been in the past. But at the end of the day, if your partner's going to a strip club every night, then that's probably a problem.
Right.
If you're in a happy relationship.
I would say, what's the context of the reason why they're going? Is it with a bunch of mates and it's like a bucks party and things like that? Then I would be like, okay, look, let them live.
Yeah, yeah. And look, does it gross me out? I don't love those places, but I don't, as long as you're not.
I just thought about this. You know what would be nice? If you are uncomfortable with your partner going, say you're the girl and you guys got a bucks night to go to, right? And you're like, oh, I don't really want going because it makes me uncomfortable. If you let him go and he comes back and he shows you love and says, look, it was just a night out, whatever. What a strengthening thing just to be like, look, us as a couple can face adversity and still come together.
And not have insecurities over that. And that's my thought process on that is that you should be able to trust your partner to do anything. So if you can't trust them to go into a strip club and, behave themselves, then what's it?
People are driving in their cars right now going, shut the fuck up. You guys know nothing. Look, Brad's not even in a relationship. He hasn't been in one in years. Shut your mouths.
Yeah, but I've been in these situations and I understand. Recently. But
just people have some real deep-seated...
And again, this is our opinion and my opinion.
Right.
Like, I'm absolutely not going to encourage my partner to go to a strip club, but if that's what he wants to do, then...
so be it.
He wants to do it. And as long as you're not crossing lines and boundaries and respecting that kind of thing, then that's fine. Because if I was that insecure that I was getting jealous of them going to a strip club, then I see that as more of a problem.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
But then that goes both ways. Like, I have zero desire to go to a male strip club. Absolutely no desire. But if I did, I would want that sort of feeling in return.
And the context would matter. Are you with a bunch of girls for a hen's night, blah, blah, blah,
or are you just going there on a Wednesday night just
by
because?
Yourself.
Yeah, when you could be home with me.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I understand what you're saying. Now, towards the end of the show, so essentially all these girls perform and then they're waiting out the back to be called back out again. They all win different kind of awards and then there's like a grand prize, which is like, you are the Miss Nude Australia now, blah, 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 right? And these girls win like contracts with other strip clubs to kind of like perform for X amount of dollars over X amount of dates and things like that. And then they win, I think it was like $20,000 cash. And they also win like magazine covers and like photo shoots and things like that. So it was full on. It was way more full on than I thought. Anyway, to wrap this up, I go, the other guy goes, all right, Brad, quick, we need to jump out the back and take a photo of these girls before they come back out on the stage.
Right.
So then I run out the back with him and it was just interesting to see what the back of a strip club looks like. It's just not what you think it is. It's so different, right? And so we go into this room and Karina, I walk into this room and then there is the 10 performers that just performed over the last couple of hours. They're all butt naked, no clothes on at all. And these girls are gorgeous.
What went through your head?
I was flustered.
I was just because I was going to say something else. It's very inappropriate.
I walked in and I felt like I shouldn't be there because, I mean, you walk into a room and there's all these naked women.
Yeah.
You kind of go like, oh, I'm not, sorry. Like, oops.
Do you feel like you're...
wrong room. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, come in. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, I don't know where to look. I want to look in certain places. I couldn't look in certain places. I was like, look, I'm looking up. I'm looking up. Nothing's looking anywhere it shouldn't look. And I was given a LED light to hold. Right? And listen to this. I was given this light to hold to light the girls because it was in quite a dark room. Right? And I'm standing there holding this light up, just thinking, oh, it's not that bright. Like, this is a kind of a shitty light. And I'm standing there just not knowing where to look. I'm so flustered. These girls are just like, it's just that they have worked on their bodies. Like they are chiseled. They are absolutely, there's no flaws on them. You're like, these girls are like the pinnacle of beauty. This is it's crazy, right?
Well, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, okay. Am I going to get into trouble for saying that? I shouldn't be. I should be allowed to say that. I looked at it and I was like, this is stunning. All right. Anyway, okay. Well, that could be for another pod because you're about to slap me. And I'm holding this light, and one of the girls walks over to me, butt naked. All right. I'm like, why is she walking up to me? And she walks up to me, and she touches my nose. She like fingers just brushes her finger on my nose, and she goes, silly. And I'm like, what? And then she clicks and turns the light on. The light wasn't on. I'm standing there holding this LED light. It's not even on. And a stripper walked up to me, called me silly, and turned the light on. Now, let me tell you, my knees were shaking after that. I thought to myself, what an idiot. No. What an idiot.
Yeah, that's bad.
The light went on and I was like, look at all this glory. It was an experience. To kind of wrap up this episode, it was one of those experiences where I left and I really questioned and had a really deep conversation with my therapist about society's people are interesting, and I had a bit of an idea of what I thought a strip club would be like. I went and worked there for 6 hours. I really got to know the people that work there, the actual performers, the people that were running the live stream.
They're all people at the end of the day. They're just people.
And even the people that rocked up to view the show, they were couples. It was like a husband and wife that would come sit down, and it was like a thing. Like they were having drinks, and then they'd watch the show, and then they'd leave. And it's just fascinating. It's not this boisterous place that I thought it would be. There's a lot of women there. There's a lot of women that came to watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is absolutely fascinating. Yeah, so it was just fascinating, like to see this dynamic and this shift. And after a couple of hours, I felt super comfortable in there. I was like, this is fine. Like this should not be something that's judged. And anyone who hasn't gone to a strip club who has like some real judgments about it, I don't think you should judge it at all until you've been in there.
I agree completely.
So. Just
moral
fascinating.
To this story. Just don't fucking judge people.
Don't judge people. Seriously, it's a big thing.
There are people at the end of the day. I think when I saw, because I had a quick look, just because I was curious, and what I liked about it was the people that, I think there was 3 girls. Was there like a first, second, and third or something?
Yeah, the winners.
Yeah, no, the winners that I saw were like, what I loved was that was not cliche at all. Like one of the chicks was like covered in tats and she had a shaved head.
Yeah.
Love that.
She was great.
That's where my whole pinnacle of beauty thing came into, because that's beautiful. But and she was beautiful.
She was a part of the
That's
10
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's good that it wasn't just this like cliche, blonde.
And there was a lady in her probably late 30s.
Yeah.
They weren't all like, 20 in their 20s. Some of them were in their 30s. And to be honest, they were probably stronger than the 20-year-olds in the way that they were performing. It was just fascinating and exciting stuff. If you guys have any questions for me personally about some things that you want to know on the night, please send them through. We really appreciate you listening to this one. Hit us up over on YouTube. We really want people to go over to YouTube, type in Everything But Weddings podcast on the YouTube search and subscribe to us over there. Follow us over Everything But Weddings pod on Instagram. And that's about it. Anything else, Karina?
Nope, that is it.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
And I pray, I believe.